We're here this morning on an eviction suit. Plaintiff, Historic Loss of Waco High, represented today by Miss Tammy Woodruff. And your position with the historic loss?
Property manager.
Property manager, very good. And the defendant in this suit is Richie Summers and all occupant. And Mr. Summers is with us this morning as well. Good morning.
Good morning again, sir.
All right, you have both waived your right to a jury trial by not requesting one, which brings us to a bench trial or trial by judge. That's what we're doing here today. Neither side is represented by an attorney. However, this is the people's court. In the people's court, you're not required to have an attorney. In this court, you can have your voice heard and have judgment rendered following proper procedure. First order of business is to swear in the witnesses, which would be you both. I'm going to ask you both to simply raise your right hand so I can administer the oath to you. Do you, both of you, solemnly swear or affirm testimony you're about to give in this cause to be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
I do.
Okay, that's what I need, affirmative from both. All right, I would like to go to the petition that brings us to court today. Mr. Summers, you have a copy of this petition. If you want to follow along, it was attached to the paperwork that told you how to be here today. So if you want to follow, you can, but I'm just going to read the petition to you. This petition was filed in this court on November the 7th, 2025. Plaintiff, Historic Loss of Waco High, Defendant Richie Summers, and all occupants. The property located at 815 Columbus Avenue, apartment 2305, Waco, Texas, 76701, which is in JP Precinct 1 of McLennan County. The grounds for this eviction is for unpaid rent, which we're going to get to in just a second. The next thing the court looks at is the notice to vacate, which shows to have been delivered on September the 16th, 2025, and shows to have been posted on the inside of the dwelling main entry door, which is proper. All right, I have no other documents, so Ms. Woodruff, first of all, is there a lease in this rental?
Yes, sir, there is. The lease dates are from 3/28/25 to 2/28/26.
Okay, and what is the amount of the rent per
The
month?
rent is $750.
$750. Due and payable on the first day of the month?
Yes, sir.
And what day is it considered delinquent?
If it's not paid by the 5th, it is delinquent.
Okay, which time late fees are incurred?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now, what months are delinquent? And please start with any partial months.
Partial month of July, full months of August, September, October, and November.
Okay, what was the partial? What was due in July?
$562.50.
And then full month for August through November?
Yes, sir.
But I have a total of $4,312.50.
Yes, sir.
Okay, Ms. Woodruff, do you have anything else at this time?
No, sir.
All right, Mr. Summers, you've heard everything that's been presented so far. It's basically non-payment of rent. There is a lease, and did you sign the lease, Mr. Summers?
I surely did, Your Honor.
Okay, and by signing the lease, you agreed to the terms of the lease, and that's what we're here for today. Do you have any questions of Ms. Woodruff of anything that she presented to court today?
The only question I may have is why haven't I received a receipt of my having paying rent since the proper contractual agreement of the lease? It is stated in the contract that receipt should be provided to the tenant each and every time rent has been paid. And if there's any whatsoever kind of a documentation of rent having been paid, I have not received any whatsoever kind of documentation that would be the evidence I could provide today during this process, Your Honor.
Are you saying that you have paid the rent?
I have paid the rent and I have not received a receipt from day one of signing the lease and the initial deposit and first month's rent being paid in process after before signing the lease. I have not received a receipt day one, whether electronically, during email, or physical, where there is an understanding that there should be a receipt, a paper receipt given when rent has been paid.
Okay, can you
For
prove that?
documentation for my record.
I'm sorry, can you prove that you paid the rent?
I can prove it. I have
Okay,
proof
can
of
you
it. She has proof of it. And I only pay my rent through the portal, which is an electronic process. And there is an additional $27 assessed when paying rent through the historic Laws of Waco High portal. I have not received a receipt from day one.
Okay, Ms. Woodruff, can you respond to the no receipts?
Yes, sir. So they can pay with money order, which they have the other half of their stub for. They can come into the office at any time if they put that in the drop box after hours, and we can initial that. We are also able to print out a receipt if they request one. We can also print out a ledger. I have a ledger that I'm more than happy to share on the screen with the both of you of where payments have been made. And if they do pay them online, they get an electronic receipt from the portal that they pay them on. They also, of course, they have the receipt from where it clears the bank.
Okay, can you share that document with us?
Absolutely. Okay, are you able to see
Yeah,
this?
can you enlarge it any at all?
Absolutely, yes. And this was as of the date that we had filed.
Okay, now,
This,
Ms. Woodruff, I want to ask you to go very slow because
Sure.
Mr. Summers has a handheld. He's going to have to
Yes,
look at it to make sure that he understands it. Mr. Summers, can you see the document?
I can see the document, Your Honor.
Okay, all right. Go, proceed, Ms. Woodruff.
okay, this is the document as of 11/4, the date that we had filed. And then we also have today's document right here, 11/21, and you can see the date is verified right here. And then you've got the each itemized description line by line that goes all the way back to the date that he moved in. If you would
Okay.
like to scroll up or down, please let me know.
Yeah, Mr. Summers, what payments are you in dispute of?
All of them.
Okay,
I
can
have
you
not
show?
received a receipt from day one. I'm just
Okay.
saying that in no disrespect, Your Honor, at all, in this particular proceedings, the plaintiff is the responsible for approving or disapproving. And if I am the defendant, that would be the contractual agreement as well as my evidence. If the historic loss from day one of signing the lease have any monies haven't been paid in order to complete the contractual agreement according to the lease,
Okay,
as well as, yeah, my
yeah,
apologies, Your Honor.
no, Mr. Summers, that's an issue between you and management. Ms.
Exactly.
Woodruff is showing proof here of what is actually paid. Whether you got the receipt or not, that's going to be between you and them. That is not
Exactly.
something that's going to negate this suit.
I
Okay?
understand, Your Honor. I
She's
understand, Your
showing
Honor.
the documentation now of what you have paid and what you owe. Okay?
I understand, Your Honor.
Okay. Ms. Woodruff, go ahead and proceed.
Just for clarification, as a manager, I am more than willing to sit down with any resident that I have. If they have any questions about their balance, their payments, or charges, I will go line by line and take as much time as needed because I want my residents to understand their ledger and want them to understand where they're at with their rent.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, and, all right. Okay, so I'm looking at this as from, July. I'm sorry, I do see July the 11th there. You say he got some kind of credit? That's why the balance was, 562?
There was, as far as the first, late month, that was a partial month. And he had paid some on that. So coming into July, he started with a zero balance coming in. He got charged $750 for rent. He paid $187.50. And that left him with a balance of $637.50 for July. His late fees were $75. That's where the $637.50 come in at.
Gotcha. Okay, all right. Mr. Summers, do you have any other questions?
Yes, Your Honor. The portal was down, to my knowledge, from the months of July, August, and September. That's why the money is showing not having been paid. And this is because there was no management available for me to go in, and I did not receive any of a 3-day notice after the first month. After the partial month, or even the partial month, I have repeatedly called the office. There was no one in the office for me to communicate with in question of the rent or the portal or my receipts that I showed that I had paid the rent. The portal was down. And this is by knowledge of other tenants that have since then been vacated and evicted from the property. I don't have any evidence to show that, but I'm just stating as far as my defense, Your Honor. I don't have any evidence of that, but if more than one person that is a complete stranger that is a resident here, they say, hey, did you pay your rent? I'm like, yeah, but I had a problem. Yeah, I paid my rent and the portal was down and there was no management on site for at least 2.5 months minimum. And there have been complaints. Unfortunately, Miss Woodruff is not responsible for providing that, but I'm just saying it in my defense, Your Honor. And there were times that the portal was down, but I do have evidence of me having paid the rent.
Mr. Summers, did you make any attempt to contact Miss Woodruff or anybody in the office?
Miss Woodruff, Your Honor, was not an employee here at the time. A matter of fact, if Miss Woodruff can state when she first arrived to take the position of office manager, what date did she arrive? Because I was not aware. I have never met Miss Woodruff. The first time I've ever seen Miss Woodruff, it was a knock at the door, and she goes, "Are you Richie Summers? You owe us $2,200." And I was like, "Really? How is that possible?" And that was the end of the conversation. I did let her know I don't have any receipts. I haven't received receipts from day one. I can't even remember the day that I even met Miss Woodruff. Up until Miss Woodruff got here, there was no office manager at all on site. I walked to the office many times. I'm a disabled combat veteran, and I am already residing in a apartment that is on the second floor, which all in any disability should be, it has been designated for the first floor of the main building. And this is something totally outside of me, particularly in this case, Your Honor. But I would like to ask Ms. Woodruff, what date did she take the position of office manager? And if it was any time of July, that would be untrue. I have seeked out, you did ask me, Your Honor, as far as did I reach out to office management? I did, but there was no one in the office. There was no office manager for at least the minimum of 2 months.
Okay.
For me to inquire about my payment of rent.
Ms. Woodruff,
I have
good. Ms. Woodruff, you can go ahead and stop the share now if you don't mind.
Sure. Just a second. Did that do it?
No, you're still there. The document is still there. You have to just click on the document. It should say stop share.
Okay, how about we do that? Did that do it?
Well, no, because now you got your desktop there.
Okay, hold on. Let me blow it up. Well, it's not wanting to stop sharing.
Right down at the bottom of the screen, you'll see the share button. And if you'll click that share button, it'll let you, I think it should let you stop share. No?
I'm closing everything except this, and it's
Okay,
still.
but not on your desktop, Ms. Woodruff. It's got to be in the Zoom portal.
Okay, so it's not letting me zoom back out to maximize it to where I have those buttons.
Okay, if you'll put your cursor on one of our videos, you should be able to see that share button at the bottom. Okay.
So I'm so sorry. It's a minimum screen and it's not letting me maximize it to get to the buttons. Here we go. Okay, I've got the screen big. The share is green and there's no option to stop sharing.
Okay. All right, but that's the technical difficulty. Okay.
I'm so sorry.
Oh, that's okay. All right. Do you have anything else, Mr. Summers?
No, sir, I do
Okay.
not.
Ms. Woodruff, how long have you been the property manager?
My first day was July 21st, and if
Okay.
I'm not mistaken, that was on a Wednesday. And
That
prior
is not
to
true. That is not true. That is not true.
Mr. Summers,
My
please
apologies. My
let
apologies.
her finish.
Yes, sir.
prior to me being here, our regional manager was filling in until I got here.
Okay. All right. Okay, thank you. Mr. Summers, do you have anything else?
She did not answer the question as far as what day she was actually physically in the managerial position.
She said she
Physically
got there
in-
July 21st.
That is not true, Your Honor. That is
Okay,
not
but
true.
that's immaterial. Okay, we're
Yes,
talking
sir. Yes,
about
you're
rent
right.
that is
Yes, sir.
due.
Yes,
She
sir.
is
You're right. You're
the
right.
property manager in charge of it, and she's taking care of it, okay?
Yes, sir, Your Honor.
All right, anything else?
No, sir, Your Honor.
All right. Ms. Woodruff, do you have anything else?
No, sir.
All right. Okay, having heard the evidence, the court finds for the plaintiff for possession of the property and for the back rent of $4,312.50. Now, Mr. Summers, I want you to understand that this does not pertain to late fees or late payments. Your lease does address late fees and late payments. That's going to be between you and management. This is just actual rent that is due. If you have proof of this, you need to show it to the management, and if there is any proof, but they have the records, but if there is any kind of dispute, they should take care of that. The court will also award the plaintiff the court cost in the amount of $144. This is the judgment of the court. The judgments will go out in the mail today. You should get them either Monday or Tuesday, this being a weekend. Mr. Summers, I want you to understand that this is the judgment of this court and that you always retain a right to an appeal if you think an appeal is necessary or proper. However, that appeal will expire on Tuesday, December the 2nd. If you don't appeal, you don't get this worked out, you don't move out, Then Ms. Woodruff, on Wednesday, December the 3rd, you can proceed with a writ of possession, which is the next phase of an eviction. All right? The judgments will go out in the mail today, and you should get them, like I said, next week. Yes, Mr. Summers.
You say eviction, I basically have until December 3rd to resolve or have my possessions out of the apartment by then, December
By
3rd?
By December 2nd, sir.
December 2nd. Yes, sir. That's the only question I had. My apologies.
Okay.
Judge.
All right. And we are adjourned. Thank you, Mr. Summers. Good luck to you. Okay.
Thank you. Have a good day, Your Honor.
And you as well. Bye.
Bye-bye.
We're here today on an eviction suit. Derek Smythe and Kaylee Smythe, who are represented today by attorney Margaret Gardner. Good morning to all of you.
Good morning.
And the defendant in this suit is Cameron Deal and is it Liza Deal?
Yes.
Okay, and Cameron is with us today for the hearing. You have all waived your right to a jury trial by not requesting one, which brings us to a bench trial or trial by a judge. While the plaintiff is represented by an attorney, the defendant is not. However, this is the People's Court. In the People's Court, you're not required to have an attorney. In this court, you can have your voice heard and have judgment rendered following proper procedure. So the first order of business right now is to swear in the witnesses. So anyone who's going to be giving testimony in this case today, and that would be the Smythes and Mr. Deal, I want to ask you at this time to simply raise your right hand so I can administer the oath to you. Do you, all of you, solemnly swear or affirm testimony you're about to give in this cause to be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
All right, that's what I need, is affirmative from all. Now, Mr. Deal, since you're not represented by an attorney, I'm going to explain this process to you. This is a civil suit, and all civil suits, it's always the responsibility of the plaintiff to go first, to present all evidence, any documents, any testimony they feel they need to prove their case to the court. It's imperative that both sides are heard from. So I will tell you, Mr. Deal, that when Ms. Gardner's through presenting this case, if you have any questions, you will have that opportunity to ask her about what is presented to court. Once you're satisfied that you've heard everything and that you understand everything, I will then give you, Mr. Deal, the opportunity to give your defense, understanding that any testimony you give to the court, then the plaintiff is going to have the right to question you about your testimony at the end. Once all the evidence is heard, then the court will render a decision. Okay? All right. Ms. Gardner, I'll take judicial notice that I have received documents from you, namely a copy of the lease and namely a copy of the notice to vacate. So
Yes.
You may proceed. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. I would like to begin with questions by asking Mr. Smythe a few questions. Mr. Smythe, can you please state your full name for the court?
Derek James Smythe.
Are you familiar with the lease agreement that's effective, or that was effective April 1st, 2025, and marked as Plaintiff's Exhibit A? And then I'll just hold this up to the
Yes, I
camera.
am.
How long was the lease agreement for with the defendants in this case?
It was for 1 year, set to expire on April 1st, 2026. And then after that, it was going to be month-to-month Tennessee if we didn't get another contract in place.
Can you describe the rent requirements in the lease, specifically the monthly rent payment that was due?
The monthly rent payment due was $2,250.
When was rent due?
The first of each month.
And then when was rent considered late each month?
After the third day of each month.
And then are there, does the lease call for late fees if rent was not paid on time?
Yes, it does. There was a $50 initial late fee and an additional charge of $10 per day up to 30 days.
Can you please tell us about the defendant's payment history, specifically for the months of September 1st, October 1st, November 1st of 2025?
For September, October, November 1st, they did not pay rent on time.
Were any late fees or penalties paid by the defendants for September, October, and November for the rent payments being late?
No.
Could you also please describe the lease's terms regarding non-payment? Specifically, how many days written notice were you required to give before the lease terminated and they were asked to vacate?
According to the lease, we have to give them a 1-day written notice to vacate.
Have you sent any or had any notices sent regarding non-payment? I want to hold up at Plaintiff's Exhibit B. Do you recognize this that we sent out on October 16th, 2025?
Yes.
And then my last question is, did the lease terminate as of October 18th, as provided in the notice that I just held up, and it was attached as Exhibit B?
Yes.
Thank you. No further questions at this time, Your Honor.
Okay, I have just a couple of questions. On the rent, $2,250, does the defendant get any rent relief, or does he pay the full amount?
He pays the full amount.
Full amount. Okay, all right. All right, now, Mr. Deal, are you still there? I see you have it muted. There you go. You've heard everything that's been presented so far. Do you have any questions of the plaintiff, of anything that's been presented to court?
No, I don't have any questions.
Okay, all right. Then at this time, it would be your opportunity. If you wish, you have anything to say in your defense?
I believe that we've had enough conversations between the both of us. I'm already moved out of the house.
Okay,
So
all right.
I've been gone for probably a week and a half now. So there's no complaints of anything. I would say at the end of the day that no, it doesn't matter. But it's okay. Everything's all right with me.
Okay, all right. Ms. Gardner, do you have any questions of Mr. Deal?
Yes, Your Honor. I would like to ask Mr. Deal just a few questions regarding the lease.
All right.
Mr. Deal, are you familiar with the lease agreement that was marked as Plaintiff's Exhibit A and that was put into effect April 1st, 2025? And I'll just hold this up.
Yes, I know the lease agreement.
And then when you signed the lease agreement on March 21st, you agreed to certain terms, including payment of rent on or before the 1st, and then late fees after the 3rd.
Correct.
And then as far as the rent payments go for September 1st, October 1st, and November 1st, those were not paid during those months in the amount of $2,250 each for each month. Even though you had received notice about it on October 16th, 2025 from my office.
Just September, October, and November?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And then just my last question, Mr. Deal, is as of October 18th, the lease agreement was effectively terminated. And then you guys have promptly, I just wanted to confirm that you guys had received notice of that it had terminated as of that date.
I will receive notice and we've moved.
Okay, thank you so much. No further questions at this time, Your Honor. I just would like to briefly conclude, if that's okay.
Go right ahead.
Your Honor, based on the evidence presented here today, I believe the tenant violated the terms of the lease agreement due to non-payment. I respectfully request that the court approve the eviction of defendant and that they have to pay back rent and future rent unpaid through the initial lease term of April 2026, late fees, attorney fees, and then all court cost and interest. Thank you.
Okay.
Judge,
do
may I say
you-
something?
Just a second, sir.
Yes, sir.
Are you charging attorney's fees? Did you have a testimony on that?
Yes, sir. I do. Yes, Your Honor. I do have the amount of attorney's fees that I'm requesting today.
Okay, can you give me a testimony on your fees?
Yes. So between from start to finish, between the time spent with the hearing today, the court costs that we had to pay for filing the petition, and then, the meetings with the clients regarding gathering information for this, I'm requesting attorney's fees in the amount of $3,800. My billable hourly rate is $300 an hour, and that equates to about 11.85 hours of work. But that amount also includes the $244.44 we had to pay for the filing/court cost in this.
Okay, you say how much? 3,000?
800.
Okay. All right. Much. Okay. All right, anything else?
No,
No, I
Your
just-
Honor.
Sorry about
Mr.
that.
Deal?
I just want to put on file, just stating inside of the agreement that there's things that I've done on the house that still haven't been paid for. And that I just want to place that on file today.
Okay, well, this has nothing to do with that.
I
Mr.
understand.
Deal,
I
if
just
you
wanted-
feel,
I just want to place that. I was just placing that on the record. That's all I was doing.
okay, all right, well,
I would
this is
take
not,
care. I would take care of that on my own end with my lawyer.
okay, then that's what you need to do, okay?
Will do.
All right, anything else, Mr. Deal?
No, sir.
Anything else, Miss Gardner?
No, Your Honor.
All right, then, having heard the evidence, the court finds for the plaintiff for possession of the property and for the back rent of $6,750. Now, Mr. Deal, I want you to understand that this only pertains to rent. Your lease does call for late fees or late payments. The court does not address. However, you have a signed lease, and that's going to be between you and management. The court will award the plaintiff the attorney's fees of $3,800. And finally, the court will award the plaintiff court cost in the amount of $234. This is the judgment of the court. The judgments will go out in the mail today. You should get them in the mail either tomorrow or the next day. Mr. Deal, I want you to understand this is the judgment of this court, and that you always retain a right to an appeal. You think an appeal is proper and necessary, it's entirely up to you. However, it is a timely appeal. If you do wish to appeal the judgment of this court, you must do so by Wednesday, November 26th. If there's no appeal, no payment, and no movement, where you've already moved, then on the 27th, you can get a writ of possession, but it sounds like he's already out. But that's the way it works, okay? All right, we are adjourned. I want to thank you all, and everyone have a blessed day. Good luck to you, Mr. Deal.
Yes, sir. Thank y'all.
Take care.
Thank you.
Your Honor. Have a great day.
You as well.